Oh, good morning, everybody.
Hey there. Is my audio working?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good. Thank you.
All right. How's everybody doing this morning?
Oh, kind of pretty good. Kind of slow.
Yeah, it's my Friday before Thanksgiving break, and it's going so
Mm.
slow.
Oh, you're lucky. I still got one more day, so.
Yeah, we're open tomorrow till 3. So I usually work 12 to 3. So
We're
that'll
open
be
till
that.
5 tomorrow, but luckily, we have weird schedules here where we work and we get every other Friday off, but because we're closed, I get the Wednesday off. It's really good.
Oh, that
Lucky
lovely.
me.
Say, I'll be at the library. I'm in charge till 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So it's a dead night, and I hope that continues because I want no drama. So
I'll come up there and bug you if you want us to.
you
Cause
have
some
to behave
havoc.
yourself.
Yep, we're gonna all call and place mail orders through you, even though we can't.
Well, I place bells for people outside of Southfield and Lather Village all the time.
Do
So
you really?
yeah, I mean, it's sent to their home library. So
True. Okay, true. Yeah, we don't do that. Well,
okay.
because you're different. You do mail like it's your thing, right? Do you do
We do it.
TLN?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I know that when I worked for Baldwin, we we only had Mel, like we didn't have the TLN catalog, and I don't know if that's changed.
Yep, we just have Mel. So
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Benny has joined us.
Well, I like Benny, so
Yeah.
I thought we'd start off this morning a little different instead of just opening up for questions. I thought in the spirit of Thanksgiving, yeah, I'll do the cheesy bits, but let's say some of the things we are thankful for. So like I'll start off with a couples to get the ball rolling. Let me get everybody joined in here. First off, I'm thankful for some successes we've had. Our attendance is growing. We've had some great programs lately. So it's nice to see the numbers post-COVID coming back up a little bit. And then I'm thankful just this industry. I mean, I love that we're a sharing group and we all celebrate the successes together and commiserate together and work. We're not competitive against each other. We know that whether they use a library up in Marquette, Monroe, Alpena, wherever you're at, if you're a library user, it counts as a win. It doesn't matter if you use my library or not.
I love that too. Well, I'm thankful for this group because it's given me more knowledge. I was new to the social media, I was new to the promotions, that kind of thing. And we're such a small library that, like I'm learning different like ways of looking at things that we didn't consider before. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my cats. I'm thankful for my family.
I'm thankful that our central library is reopened. And yeah, it was a 1.5 year project and we're all done now with our building project. So it's very nice to all be back together and we're really happy with how it turned out. So
That's great.
plus ditto what everybody else said so too. Thank you.
Where is your central? Where?
In Grosse Pointe, right on the corner of Kercheval and Fisher Road and Grosse Pointe Farms.
Oh, that's a
And
nice.
it's the 70th anniversary of the building as well. It was built in 1953. It's a mid-century modern designed by Marcel Breuer, who was a well-known German architect, and it's one of the only one of his buildings in the Detroit area, and it's a National Historic Landmark. So we were able to add on and really improve what we can offer to our patrons without taking away from the building, you know, with the look of the building. So it was a big undertaking, and we're thrilled that it's finished.
That's great.
Well, so join in from the chat. We have Nanette said that she's thankful for her family and her critters too, and thankful for our jobs.
Yes.
Yes, I enjoy being employed and employed in a job I like. So, and Megan said she's thankful for this group, and it's great to share all our successes and failures and learn from each other. I'm also thankful for our ongoing renovation and for very excited for all the exciting things coming in 2024.
That sounds good. I was gonna look at the chat too.
Does anyone else want to join in with anything? Oh, here we go. We got one more. Natasha said she's thankful for, excuse me, for her new position in PR and programming coordinator. Congrats. Her first full-time job with insurance. That is worth celebrating.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And thankful that she gets to work hand in hand with her coworkers, and she's gotten great feedback from, and that they're giving her good feedback for her progress. Yay!
That's nice.
And Heather said that she's thankful for the awesome staff, and especially administration, that understands the importance of marketing. That is always good, because not everybody gets that yet. And a boss who lets her throw the phone down the book return shoot for a bit. And a POV, you are the book video. Ooh, I'll have to look that one up. And Wesley Ann said that even though there are challenges, she feels like it's an amazing time to work in libraries, and also very excited to see what's coming. And Sean said he's thankful for his job at Centerline and very cool and welcoming coworkers. And welcome, Sean. I've not seen your face in this group before, so welcome to the Michigan PR group.
Hi, thank you.
We welcome you here. And Steph put in that she's thankful she got to go to LMCC a few weeks ago. Ooh, I want to hear all about that.
Yeah.
And Heather put the link to the video in the chat there, so we can all watch that. And I'm actually opening that up. Whoops. Pausing that, so I will watch that later. All right. Anyone else have anything they want to say they're thankful for? Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, I'll ask Steph, and I see Katie's on here. How was LMCC? What did you guys learn? And Katie, I think you went to LMCC, right? Oh,
There
she
we
wasn't
go.
approved to go this year. I'm sorry.
Aw. Now I feel bad talking about it. No, it was really good. I'm very glad I got to go. My role isn't really called marketing or communications, so I feel like they being my administration maybe thought it was a slight stretch, but I essentially do all of that kind of stuff. I run our social media, I do all of our printing and graphic and all that kind of stuff. So it was good to be in a room full of other people who had similar challenges, because I'm kind of an island where I'm at with this kind of thing. So lots of good sessions. I'm trying to think of what stood out. One of the keynotes on the second day was the social media librarian from the Los Angeles Public Library, Keith Kessler, I think his name is, Keith Kessler. And his was really, really good. It was an engaging talk, and he gave lots of good ideas and good feedback for getting numbers up on social. So that was a good one. And he does a lot of stuff online that you can see, like on LinkedIn and stuff. So I would recommend checking him out. Yeah, I mean, just lots of good stuff.
Great. And Katie did put in the chat that LMCC is really amazing and helpful because it's so focused on the marketing and communications. So All right. So I want to say something that we did at the library that came as a complete surprise. Well, I won't say complete. I knew it had about a week's heads up about it, but it was a changing. We actually had Channel 4 broadcast live from the library inside our youth room. It was 2 Mondays ago.
Wow.
And it was a Monday right after daylight savings time. So we ended up having a marching band inside the library. Because they were doing a spotlight on a city every day that week, and Southfield was that Monday to kick it off. And the marching band was supposed to play outside until we realized the day of, due to daylight savings time, the sun went down in the middle right before the broadcast. And there was not enough lighting outside to highlight the band. So it was a last minute decision to bring them inside. And remarkably, they played on and off for an entire half hour. We only had 3 complaints. So believe me, when a marching band's playing, there is no quiet zone in the library.
No. Was it Southfield High or Lathrop or?
Yeah, it's now just one high school in the town. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the Southfield Arts and Technology High School, and they have a really great band.
That's great.
It was great. I didn't know you were going to be on there and saw you. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then I submitted you for Angela Hirsch for a kudos too. I don't know if you'll get it, but I did submit it because I thought it was really great that they were, focusing on Southfield, and it was from the library, and they said a lot about the library. It was really, really, I thought it was great. I was really excited for you, Kelly, when I saw that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work that day of behind the
I
scenes
bet.
to make it work, but it turned out well. And I was just surprised only 3 complaints. So considering, we were not the quiet library that day. So, and far more than 3 people were intrigued by it. And we had people sticking around longer than they were planning to see the band play, and got an attendance boost that day from the band and all the band parents. So
I was going to say.
And I'm going to toss a couple YouTube links to it if you want to see it. Toss them in the chat here. So I can't remember exactly which are which because I just have them all in a file. So one of them shows the marching band in our atrium. So and one was a cute little promo that they did highlighting the library, and that the top one. That one's my favorite. It's just a minute and it was highlighting a bunch of stuff. Got to give the anchor a little mini tour of the library. He took that and put that into that little promo segment. So
which anchor was it?
Oh God, his name he's
It's
a new guy.
Demand. He's
Thank
relatively
you.
new. Demand, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he did a nice job. He and Karen Drew, right? Yeah,
Yep.
they were really good.
Yeah, and Damon was very nice. He was at the library all day that day doing promos for us, and then in between he was just working, being a patron working, so
Yeah.
on his laptop. So it worked out for him.
Very cool. That's very cool.
So I can't replicate that. I don't think I'll ever have another marching band inside the library, but it was a fun day.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be hard to top, but how fun.
Yeah.
The multimedia experience,
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry. I am paying attention.
Oh no. I like seeing Betty walk across the keyboard there. So
I mean, I don't think he ever does that as much as he's doing now.
because there's voices and talking coming out of it, and we're saying Betty. So
Yes. So he does come up. This is my office, and he comes up here and does sit. I even have a cushion, but he's ignoring it. So
that's what cats do.
yes.
Yep. And as Nanette put, they only do it when you're on the computer or in a meeting. They just want they know when your attention is elsewhere and should be on them. So
Yes. All right.
All right. So now we'll open it up to the group. Who's got a question for the group today?
Oh, let's think.
have one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where my video went. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
I'm here. So out of LMCC, one of their things was about doing more video content, which I've always shied away from. So I am going to attempt to do that. So I created a short video and I actually just started with still pictures and I put them into Movie Maker and they scroll and then I narrate it over. So just like very basic, simple, because that's where I'm at in life. My problem is Movie Maker on my computer does not allow me to add scrolling captions. I do not have a YouTube channel. I am not allowed one within the state of Michigan. They will not give me one. So, and I know YouTube will add the captions for you, which is why I bring that up. What else do you guys use to get the scrolling caption bar on your videos that's free and easy?
Are you posting to like TikTok or Instagram or just like YouTube?
Just
Like
Facebook, and then it'll
Facebook?
go on our department's YouTube page, but I don't have access to that. So technically I can give it to them, they can add in the captions, then they can send it back and I can put it on Facebook, but I'm kind of trying to just cut out the
Same.
middleman and do it myself so it doesn't take so long.
If you, in Canva, if you make a TikTok reel out of what you're doing, because I've done that before, like if I'm gonna do like a reel of the photos and stuff, it doesn't matter if it's photos or video. Do you think that, I'm trying to think, because I know if you do it in TikTok, you have that option, but do you have that option in Canva if you're making a TikTok reel? I don't know because I haven't tried. Does anyone else have an idea about that?
I'll just go from the chat. Katie has said that there's an app called Captions, but you do have to pay for it. So it doesn't, and then if you do make it on TikTok, they can do the captions and you can download the video. And Natasha put CapCut is a very popular app for editing.
Hey, Steph, how often are you going to be making the videos? Because you're like us. You know, we have to have everything captioned before we put anything up. And we outsource it. There's a company who I think has a contract with the state. And depending on how much funding you have to work with, I could, for caption purposes, I mean, that might be an option.
Okay, that's good to know that there's already someone that has a contract.
Yeah.
As far as funding goes, at this point, I'm going to say zero funding.
Okay.
But that could change. I think they'll want me to do it for a little bit and prove that it's more effective.
Well, tell
than
Scott
our
to
other
give you a little
posts.
bit. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. But that's good to know there's already a contract in place because
Yeah.
that's always such a pain.
Yeah.
So
So what is why doesn't Leo give you the option to post on it? 'Cause I have access to MDEs, and there's a few other of us here that do. So is it just a vetting process that they make you go through?
probably I'm too many tiers away from who
Okay.
who owns it. How many people can have access to a YouTube account?
I don't know. It's because I know for me, I also have a state of Michigan Google account, and that also gives me helps with the access to it. And sorry guys, we're talking about some internal state of Michigan
Sorry.
layers that
Oh, that's
you
okay.
guys don't have to deal with it.
Oh, this is okay. It's like,
The
what is an
bureaucracy you don't
MDE?
have to deal with.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, isn't it so fun? But I think that's part of the access that I have too,
Okay.
is having that account. And I was able to request through our I think our public relations team through Ackley, Marty Ackley's team, to be able to get access to it. So I have to believe that Leo has something similar, and you'd be like, look, I'm trying to showcase our services, and YouTube is because even though we're on MDE's channel, we have our own separate listing within it to segregate our content.
Okay.
And we've done that with like our notable books material stuff related to our other classes. So but I can ask Becky and see if she can tell me who the company is that does captioning, so I can get that to you.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you for that. And then I can bug the Leo Comms people a little bit more about it too.
Use us as an example. Say like, the
Yeah.
MDE folks let the Library of Michigan do it. Why can't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if since the Braille and I'm sorry, I don't know the exact name of your
Braille and
of you,
Talking Book
Steph.
Library.
Braille, yeah. Could the Library of Michigan share your stuff? I mean, or is that not kosher?
I mean,
I'm just thinking you're sort of the
occasionally
Library of
do, but
Michigan.
it's more when there are joint projects going on.
Okay.
If this was 30 years ago when we were still together,
Okay,
Yeah.
so
it
you're
would have
not
been a totally
okay.
different
We've
thing.
parted ways.
Not
Okay,
by
I didn't know
choice.
that.
We
Okay.
we got
Yeah.
we got separated in the the Great Hal blow up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that adds a different wrinkle to it
But
too.
you can always tag, like that's one of the things I like to do in art because we're a relatively small community. I can tag like the school system or the chamber or whatever, and then they'll share your stuff. I don't know if that's another way to do it to get more people to see what you're doing.
And I
Good
share the
idea.
Braille and Talking Book Library stuff that we get, like some of the they're just like static images, but occasionally I'll pop that on and say, hey, you don't have to be legally blind. You're able to use this if your sight, I'm not sure of the PC word to say it,
Yeah, no, you're good.
but sight impaired. So we do share that. Deb has passed that along to me. Honestly, if you have any new images or anything like that, I'm totally open to sharing them because our library is for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Circling back to my question, I just want to make sure I'm not missing something within Facebook. Facebook, if you upload it, you can't add captions there. Is that an accurate statement?
I think you can edit them. I think it does. Doesn't it auto generate?
I say we have Sean put in the chat that Instagram will auto generate, but he is not sure about Facebook, and that
Okay.
TikTok will auto generate. But I know if you're a state, I think you guys can't use TikTok either. So
No, that's a
yeah. I got mine next too. So
Yeah.
I've got mine in the dormant phase. So I haven't had to delete it, but I can't add anything to it.
For TikTok.
Yep.
That's a whole different, I would love to talk about that. I know we're talking with Storm next time, but and I don't want to change the subject right now.
No, go ahead and change it. I feel like I've exhausted my topic. Change it away.
Well, TikTok, I don't know if anyone else wants to talk about TikTok, but we've been going through this exact thing that you're talking about with Kelly, that you're not supposed to use it. Is that what you said? You have an account, but it's not favored.
Our city designated no more TikTok is not TikTok's not allowed. It's not even allowed. It was deemed a hacking risk, so you can't even get to tiktok.com on our Wi-Fi. So
this well, Deb is our director, in case people don't know, Deb Hemme. We've had a lot of conversations about this and about the usefulness of it. And we've kind of come to the conclusion that, you could spend a ton of time making things for TikTok and you have this international audience. It's not like your patrons necessarily are seeing your content. And so we kind of decided that that if I make something like I do this Hot Title Tuesdays every week, about the new title releases, and our the guy who does all the books and everything, he gives them to me, and then I make a little reel of them, like, oh, look what's coming out tomorrow. So since I'm creating that anyway, and it's kind of neutral content, it doesn't have anything to do with an event, or it's the only timeliness is that the fact that they're coming out tomorrow. Deb doesn't care if I share that to TikTok because it's like, boom, it's already made anyway, just plop it on there. But again, to what end? And so we have decided to really cut back on that, because you really can't do any kind of personalized things like, oh, we have this event coming up tomorrow. It was like it doesn't benefit anyone to know that. And so, so it's been a big topic.
I know that TikTok did recently like add a feature to when you post that you can tag your location, similar to how you can do that on Instagram.
Yeah,
And I imagine the goal of that is to kind of like is for things like this to like share your videos like kind of more frequently with your local
right.
sphere of TikTok users. And so like I agree. I still don't think that TikTok is great for like plugging like specific events.
Mhm.
But I think they are trying to like add ways for you to like really zero in on like a local community, which I appreciate.
Yeah, and I've used that. The one problem I have is that, and it's almost just a stubbornness on my part, that when I tag Huntington Woods Library, it comes up with the city of Royal Oak. And I'm like, no, we are not in Royal Oak. Sorry if that was too loud, but no, we're not Royal Oak. We are Huntington Woods. And it's just a GPS thing, because we're like this big. But so anyway, and sometimes I hit Michigan and they do come in and they go, hey, if you put your location, more people will see it. And I'm like, I know that, but you don't have the right location. So anyway, but no, that's very valid, very valid. Let me read some of the.
Yep, Katie chimed into the chat that, she also agrees. Excuse me, people don't go to TikTok to learn events, but that book talk is so popular,
Yeah.
and the funny short videos and dancing and voiceovers, and that the younger audiences use TikTok, but millennials are getting into it more now too. And if you can figure out their interests and capture their eyeballs and get them started about the library.
Mm-hmm.
Can anybody
And
hear
Heather
me?
just, oh, sorry. Go.
Can you hear me? Just
Oh,
check.
yeah.
Check,
Yeah,
check.
go ahead, Jeff.
I don't
Hey.
take TikTok and like the consideration for promoting your events and throw that entirely out the window. Storm would probably say something similar, and think of it as like driving home the value of your library. That could be showing your personality and making people aware that funny, creative, silly people work at the library. Do book recommendations, very talented, knowledgeable people work at the library. All the free things you can get at your library. The people in your community are going to pick up on it, but like, it shouldn't be discounted that you're doing a little bit of a bigger work and making the person in Indiana following you, or the person in Idaho following you, perhaps inspired to go to their public library because they've been a non-user and they haven't been in there in a while. So that's how I see TikTok.
I would agree. I would agree with that. It is like the greater good type of thing.
And Heather also popped up into the chat that, she puts up New Book Tuesdays and funny stuff, like the book point of view video up on TikTok. And, it's not great for the localized programs, but good for the general info reach.
Yeah. I really just use Facebook and Instagram for events. And for TikTok, I appreciate it as promoting the space and what the space does and what the staff does.
This is kind of a special case. It's not going to work for everything, but for my project, it kind of did. I'm working on building like a zine and like indie kind of small press collection at our library. And I made a video just yesterday kind of talking about it and like kind of introducing the collection. And I did get people from all over like commenting on that TikTok being like, hey, like I have zines. Like, can people from outside of Michigan like send you guys zines? Can we donate? Can we like help grow the collection? So it's like there is like there was in that particular instance, like people from outside of the community did like see it and became interested in like helping us out and kind of engaging with our library directly. And I don't know how you could replicate that for another program, but like just that happened for me, so it's not impossible.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I've had a lot of success with library of things and seed libraries and things that people don't know libraries do. Zines fall into that too. What I also use TikTok for that I never use Facebook and Instagram for is, and this is trickier because I don't want our patrons on camera, but like I will take video of like a craft event or a interesting thing we did, and I'll shoot around the people, but I'll at least show off this cool thing that we did. which is something I also don't do on Facebook and Instagram because people might scroll past it and say, well, what does that matter to me? I can't attend it. But TikTok is just like, I don't know, just saying, this is a cool thing we did.
We have
So
a lot of success. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
We have we do a storybook trail with our downtown every December, and we put like a snow book or something festive, not holiday centric. And last year, we always coincide it with our Phone a Story program. And so we put it on TikTok last year and had like our stats for Phone a Story that month. Like we had people calling from other countries just to listen to the story. We had like thousands. It was insane. It blew up. But like to what Jeff was saying, it's kind of more exciting to just show to the international community how cool libraries are, because I think there are plenty of people that still think it's quiet and boring and staid, but we really like to use it as like the blow off steam part of our social media, where if we're bored and need to do something fun. But that was a way that we were able to use a program to like kind of advertise widely for a program that really anybody could take part in.
That's so fun. What's a Phone a Story?
So it is, I believe it's like a wider program, but the way we have it set up is we have our youth department has its own line on our phone system. And it's basically just like the patrons call a voicemail, and they can choose between 3 lines. And then each line, like one line has a family story, one line has like a joke or a riddle or a song. And then there's a preschool storyline. So the librarians every week, it's a pain because we use our phone system, so it can only be 5 minutes. But like we've done everything from a chapter a week to just like a short storybook to obviously just singing a song. And so they get to pick and they can listen. They can be told a story over the phone. So it's pretty very low tech, but it's been surprisingly successful.
That is fun.
Not everything needs to be high tech, so.
Oh, no.
And in the chat, it was mentioned, going back to the TikTok a little bit, that and Storm can talk about Storm. If you don't know already, Storm from Fowlerville Library will be joining us as our special guest for our December meeting, talking about libraries take over TikTok. And she can talk about this more, but she's had people visit the Fowlerville Library from out of town based on her TikTok. So
They do those 1-star reviews. They're hysterical.
And that Wesley Ann put in the chat that it's important to elevate the role of libraries and their staff members within the communities overall. So, and Katie put on that TikTok's a long haul thing. And it's great to expose, especially the young people that are on TikTok, to the library. And a great opportunity to combat and dispel the misconceptions and old ideas about the libraries. And I don't know if everybody read this. I'll try to find the link and I'll share it on the PR listserv. But it was a great, it was a Pew Research study that did on how millennials and Gen Alphas are using the libraries, and that they're actually, the younger generations are using the libraries more than millennials and Gen X's, and how they're using the library. It was a great study. It had me doing a lot of thinking about how we promote the library and what we promote in the library. So I'll share that. I'll send that out to the listserv later today. Yeah,
I'd love to see that. I know we got the one from TLN.
Yeah, it was that one.
Oh, okay. Is it the same one?
Yep.
Oh, okay. But I'll read it again.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I can only, studies like that, I read like a page or two, that I have to step away and do something else.
Yeah.
Go back and read a page or two of it. It's too much to digest all in one sitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Jeff, going back to what you were saying about like a cool event, like our library did a murder mystery, and we have a few photos of it, and the people are kind of indistinguishable in it. Their backs are, because they're all sitting around a table. So that's the kind of thing that you might put together on TikTok and just say, hey, look at this, and put a few photos of it?
Yeah, mostly what I'll do is our art exhibitions so that I'm just showing off the framed work that's on a wall, or a musical performance, a concert. It's a musician. The musician themselves likely has a TikTok account and wants exposure, so they're on camera. Or if it's a craft and I'm just zeroing in on the tables and showing off the people's work or tiny art or things like that.
Okay. Cool, thank you. I'm gonna talk with our gallery coordinator, Joanne, to see if she'd like to do that with the artists that we have, because we have a new exhibition with local artists, and maybe I could do that. That would be cool.
And here's a question for Betsy. We had Natasha put in the chat. How do you keep stats on your the storybook, the phone a story?
My IT team does it. I don't actually know how they do. They only started doing it recently. I think they have the ability to see how many calls are coming in because it is through our voicemail system. So I think they're able to record that. I'm not actually sure on the exact how.
That's such a cool idea. I'm going to mention it to our director.
All right. Who's got a question for the group?
I don't know if I have any more questions.
Has anyone done a puzzle competition?
Say that
Hmm.
Has
We couldn't
anyone
hear
else
what
done
you
a
said. Sorry.
Barbara, can you
anyone
say
else
it
done
again?
I'm trying.
There you go.
Has anyone else done a puzzle competition
Yes.
where you have teams sign up?
Yes.
We
How
have
did you
to,
run
and
it?
it's been very successful.
Too
We do
successful.
we do them almost once a month.
I can't even like promote it. It just it's done.
We haven't
Does
had
everybody do the same puzzle of about 500 pieces, or
Yeah, we
do you,
we have 6 puzzles of 500, I believe. It might be 1,000. I'll check, but it's 6 puzzles, 6 teams, 6 tables, and we partner with a local brewery and we host it in their private event space.
We do 10 groups, 10 puzzles that are the same, and we do 750. We do it in our programming center.
Yeah.
And everyone does the same puzzle. And then the leftover puzzles go to our bookstore and are sold and go back to our programming.
We did something that we thought was going to be infuriating, but wound up being like really cute and like they enjoyed it. Is we'll dump the puzzle out for them, but we'll like wait 20 minutes into the competition before actually even revealing the cover and picture to them. They enjoyed that.
That's cool.
Yep, and Katie also put in that they've had puzzle competitions at Northville that were popular. And yep, there are those events that you actually don't want to publicize because they're already filled up. So
Mm-hmm.
And then Stephanie popped in the chat that they're doing trivia night for the first time back and they're getting lots of requests to repeat it. So patrons are asking to do it monthly. And Katie said that people love trivia nights and that doing it at the library is free, so it's even better. So
Right. I have a question, sort of a related question that you mentioned about not being able to promote something because it's already full.
Not needing to, not being able
Not
to.
needing to, because that's a conversation we've had also, is that like we'll have an event, like we'll have Chef Ming and it'll just fill up. But then people want to, do you think we should still publicize it, because then it tells people things that we do. Like, oh, well then, okay, next time I'm gonna look for that or something, or is it kind of a tease?
Depends on when.
Mhm.
Are you publicizing it literally after registration's already full, or are you publicizing it when it's say 90% full?
Well, it depends, because sometimes I'll do the posts, I'll schedule them in advance. So let's say I've scheduled a month out, 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 day, and I schedule it out that way, just to get people interested. But if it's like really popular and it fills up, let's say in 2 weeks, do I leave those posts or should I cancel them? Like the ones afterward? Not after the event, but like, I know the event is full. Do I continue to share it just because people will know?
I don't, because
a waiting list.
once something is full, I don't promote it because it makes people mad.
Right.
Why are
Okay.
you telling me about this and I can't get in? And then they get all mad. So
Right.
I really watch the registrations, and if it's full or like there's one more, sometimes if there's 3 or 4 openings, I'll say just a few spots left,
Yep.
Well, that's a good idea.
but
Yeah.
if it's full, no, because people get really mad. So
Okay.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
And then you go on TikTok and you show video evidence of the puzzle happening, and then you brag about it there.
Right. Okay, well, there you
Also
go.
real.
Like, this is what we do. Yeah, I've thought about that, and then and it doesn't always happen, but it has happened a couple of times. We do have waiting lists. But that's not always, because we have a lot of people who sign up and literally just don't come. And so our waiting lists do serve a purpose, but then again, the people have to show up and for a possibility of a spot.
One thing I do is, if it's a program, say there's going to be 10 art kits, I open up registration for 12, knowing in advance at least 20% will not show.
Right.
I always open more spots, and I know people will come because it's human nature. Stuff comes up in life, especially if you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
You value it less. That's just, we can't fight. We are the library. We do things for free, but that's human nature.
Yep.
I mean, even the one program we have that people pay in advance, this past month, I actually had everybody show that bought tickets in advance. I was like, whoa, that's the first time happened for a while. So
Yeah. We
and
think
then
about like charging $1 or something just to get people invested,
Yeah.
not that we want the money. It's more like, if you're going to sign 4 of your kids up for this, that's 4 spots that, so, all right, pay $1 a piece. We haven't done that, but we floated that idea, trying to get people to commit, I think Deb said they did that at Farmington or something when she was there. I can't remember, but yeah, that can be frustrating.
Yeah, we've
So-
had issues lately with, just like you said, families, like families of 4 or something. They'll sign up and we have like limited space for, like we have a family game time that only has like 4 or 5 teams. And if 2 of the teams don't show up, or 3 of the teams, then you can't really play with, 1 team. But what do you guys do about the repeat families who constantly do this? Sign up, don't come, sign up, don't come.
We were just talking about that. I'm not sure that Deb has thought of anything to do with it, but sort of we become aware of it. And it's something that I think she's trying to figure out how to address. And because it does happen, and it's tricky.
There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, like Kelly said, I've been doing this sort of stuff for longer than some of you people have been alive. And people just don't show. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So you have to plan for that. And like Kelly said, at least 20% aren't coming. And the people who don't always come, you just know they're not coming. So open it up to more people, and then you'll be fine. And then you'll get still some who don't show, and then you'll get some who come that aren't registered. And it all evens out almost always. So you
Okay.
just know ahead of time. It's just the way it is. And you're not alone. We all have the same experience, and you just know that's going to happen.
It's a really good exercise in letting go because it's just like Kelly said, like Mary said, it's just the nature of what it is. There's always going to be people that sign up and never show. And it is really frustrating, especially if you put a lot of planning into it. But if you just accept and know that ahead of time and like the things people have said, the other thing we've done is just upped our reminder emails. So if you have them register with their email address and just send them like bordering on an annoying amount of reminder emails that they've signed up for a program and they told us they're coming. And then for things like our story times, we have the registration pretty locked down, and librarians will actually go through it and send individual reminders and make individual phone calls if they've not followed the rules for registration. But you can really try your best, but at the end of the day, it's on them to do it. And they know it. They don't think they're like, nobody cares. They know what they're doing. So it's kind of just willing to accept that it's just going to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Katie put in the chat as she echoes what Betsy you just said, but she also says to remind people, include like a statement like, please cancel if you're no longer able to attend so somebody else can claim your spot. So
Yeah.
and then
We do that too. Yeah. And some people will take the time to cancel.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the letters that we send, they also say, it depends on the event. It might be for children's, that if you don't respond to this email, you will be removed from the list. You know, I think it's more for very, very attendance specific thing, you know, like that we really have like a lot of interest in, you know. Oh, and that's the thing too. We've started, I think, not because I don't do the calendar, the individual librarians do for their programs. I think that we've started not putting it on the calendar more than a month in advance because people just sign up for everything in bulk. And then there's no room for anyone. So.
yeah, and Katie kind of echoed that. She said some people do sign up, you know, a month in advance with probably good intentions, but and then I would say if you do have a repeat offender, it might be worth just reaching out to them with a phone call or an email, or if they do stop in and you know them, just, hey, by the way, you know, if you can't make it, please do cancel, you know, just that personal individual reminder if you have that repeat offender. Because I don't think people are doing it ill-manneredly. It's just, you know, life happens, or they sign up and, oh, if I can do this, this is great. I want to make sure to grab the spot. And then life happens. And
Right.
It's really tricky. I think you have to plan for those no-shows. And if you think you want your capacity at 40 or 50, really set it at 45 or 55. There's just no easy answer. We send out a newsletter, and you might get it January 1st, and it might contain information about an event happening on March 29th. If it's a gamble, right? If that human being is receiving it on their porch and they see it and they're really excited about that event, who are we to like deny that excitement? Like, we have a person having something physical in their hand. They're excited about the event. If they go to the website and registration's not open, then they're going to forget about it and throw away our newsletter. So I don't know. I don't know if there is. Like, you missed a sign up. Maybe that person is, I don't know. So that's why we send emails really a week or more before the event, so that we have time to activate our wait list.
It is tricky.
And just, I'm gonna jump back, but I forgot to, I just scrolling through the chat here, realized I forgot to mention, chat Heather mentioned about, she said they do for programs that are full for advertising. She says sometimes we do posts after the fact, like they had a really popular monarch butterfly program, and they shared the links to the resources that they mentioned in it afterwards for people that weren't able to attend, or for attendees who didn't save their handouts. So that's a good way to do it. Especially if it's a group you're looking to have back in the, I always take note, if people requested a bunch, and if the registration filled up, okay, well, this is the one to bring back. Like we've had a women's self-defense course that fills up every time we do it. So they're back on the regular because it keeps filling up. So.
Right.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions for the groups today?
I think so. How do we access the chat? I think I've asked that before, like after, like, can we access the chat, like for the links and stuff from the YouTube replay?
I don't think YouTube puts that up, if I remember.
Yeah.
I say usually I've got access to it afterwards. So since it's in our Zoom, so.
Yeah.
Either that, or I always recommend asking out on the listserv. So. All right. If we have no more questions today, I'll wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a happy long weekend.
Yeah.
And then we'll be coming back on Tuesday, December the 19th with the special guest of Storm from Fowlerville Library talking about libraries take over TikTok. So we'll learn more about her because she is a whirlwind at TikTok. So I'm looking forward to, even though I can't use TikTok, I'm sure a lot of the things she is going to talk about will still apply even if you can't use TikTok. So
yeah. And Jeff, thanks for the additional thoughts about TikTok, because like I said, we're going back and forth. I'm not sure. And, so that made a difference hearing, some good uses for it. And I do like promoting the library generally. So, we're all
yeah,
about
sometimes I think we need to do more of that and we get too event specific promotions.
right.
And we get to remember the broader picture than the fill the seats in this one program.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're building shelf awareness.
Yep.
Yes. We need to have that on a shirt.
All right. Well, thank you, Betty, for joining us today.
Yeah.
And thank you, everybody else, all the humans too. You're just not as cute as Betty. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Bye, everybody.
bye.
Bye. Talk to you soon. All right, let's sign out.